souls. I hope you're all doing really well. Welcome to another fictional story I wrote. This one is called The Midnight Library Beneath the Lake. So let's get started. It was said that long ago, before the town of Elmsworth was even a collection of stones and fields, there was a library, not above the land, but beneath it. Hidden far under the still, mirror-like surface of Lake Spur Lake. The Midnight Library, they called it. No one knew who built it. No one knew how it stayed dry beneath the waters. But every few decades, when the mist clung to the trees just right, and the moon hung low like a guardian's eye, someone from the town would vanish for a single night, only to return in the morning, changed. Marina had heard the stories all her life. Her grandmother would whisper them during thunderstorms, a blanket wrapped around her shoulders and a candle flickering between them. They always started the same way. You don't find the library, it finds you. And that night, it found her. She had been walking along the lake's edge just before midnight. It was not planned. She could not sleep. Her thoughts tangled like branches in the wind. So she wandered to the shore, barefoot in the grass, her coat pulled tight around her like a second skin. And there it was, where the water usually met the pebbled shore, a staircase of stone rising up from the lake bed, water draining from it as if it had been there forever, just waiting to be noticed. Lit by the moonlight, the steps looked slick but solid. They curved gently downward beneath the glassy surface. She stared, heart beating slow but heavily, like the tick of an old grandfather clock. And then she took her first step. The water never touched her. Each step down, the lake shimmered around her, but did not wet her skin. It was like walking through the breath of a ghost, cool and silent. As she descended, the world above grew faint, as though she were sinking through memory instead of water. The moment her foot touched the last step, the library appeared. It was vast, and the shelves carved into stone walls. Glowing orbs floated lazily through the air, like jellyfish in a dark sea. The scent was old paper, cedar, and something else. Something like forgotten dreams. There was no sound, but the hush of distant pages turning. She walked slowly, her fingers grazing the spines of books, each titled in golden letters, but the names were not authors or titles. They were feelings. The day you realized you were loved. The afternoon you almost gave up. The silence before saying goodbye. She opened one, and it did not have words. It had moments. Her own memories that she had buried deep, now laid bare in flickering images and half-heard voices. She closed it, heart racing. Then came a voice, quiet, delicate. Would you like to borrow one? She turned, and there stood a librarian, not old, not young. Their face shimmered like ripples on water, constantly shifting, familiar and unfamiliar all at once. You may borrow a single moment from another, they said, or return one of your own, but once you choose, it is yours, always. Marina hesitated. What happens if I borrow one? She whispered. You will remember it as if it were your own. It may fill a hollow space, or replace a broken part, but you must be careful. Some memories carry more than beauty. They carry weight. She wandered through aisles, a memory of flying, arms outstretched, laughter on the wind, another of painting light across a canvas with trembling hands, another simply titled, A Love That Almost Was. But then she found one that made her breath stop. It was her handwriting on the spine, but she had never written it. The night you finally forgave yourself. Her hands trembled as she pulled it from the shelf. Inside, she saw a version of herself she had never been, one who cried without shame, and one who whispered, I did the best I could, and meant it. One who stood in front of a mirror, touched her own cheek, and smiled. She clutched the memory to her chest. I want to keep this one. The librarian only nodded. As Marina turned to leave, the shelves began to fade, the glowing orbs dimmed, and she climbed the stairs again, her borrowed moment beating quietly beneath her ribs like a new heart. When she reached the surface, dawn was blooming across the lake. The staircase had vanished, But in her chest, the memory pulsed, soft and warm, not a fantasy, not a dream, but a truth she could now carry with her. Years passed. No one believed her, of course, but when someone in Elmsworth spoke of strange dreams or the sudden need to walk by the lake, she would smile softly and say, "Be kind to whatever finds you." Some say the library does not just hold memories, it yields them. And maybe that is why it's always underwater, because healing is quiet, deep, and only happens when we let ourselves sink. I hope you all enjoyed the story. Hope you all sleep well, and I hope you all have a great night.